Hi, Shell Point. I'm Jeff Corey, and I'm here with Maria Festa from the Legacy Foundation. And we're going to talk a little bit today about long-term care insurance. That's something that a lot of our residents come to Shell Point already with. And I know there's questions out there. We have questions all the time from residents. So we're going to spend just a couple minutes. And Maria, you're going to shoot some questions my way, and we'll see what we can do.
Yes, Jeff. I have a list here of really interesting questions. It'll be great to learn the answers myself. First question is, do a lot of residents come to Shell Point with long-term care policies?
They sure do. I mean, our residents are planners, and so a lot of times residents come to Shell Point not knowing what the future was going to hold, and so they have a long-term care policy, sometimes purchased many years ago, and sometimes they haven't looked at them in a while.
Right.
So we encourage them to come by the Legacy Foundation, and we'll take a look at their long-term care policy with them.
Okay, and since they come here with the long-term care policies that they bought years ago, is there a way to find out what their current policy benefits are?
Sure. The first thing residents should do is to call their insurance company and to request a summary of benefits.
Okay.
And that'll give them an up-to-date idea of what their benefits are, especially if they have an inflation rider. So through the years, maybe their policy has increased in value. Some companies are really good about sending out a summary of benefits annually, and other companies never send out that information. So it's always good for a resident to find out what their policy covers now and what the benefits are today.
Oh, that's interesting. What are the key aspects that a person should look at when it comes to their long-term care policies?
Well, there's a couple different things. Again, the first thing is to look at what contract you have here at Shell Point, and then how your long-term care policy can be used to maximize the benefits. Well, you want to look at your daily benefit, which is the amount that your policy will pay, typically if you're in skilled nursing care or assisted living. And you'll want to look at the lifetime benefit amount. And those two are the key components of what value you'll have coming out of the policy. And so then you can coordinate, again, with your Shell Point contract. And so it's a good idea just to see what the benefits are.
Okay. You've answered the next question. Does the type of Shell Point contract affect the importance of a long-term care policy?
It sure does. So depending on what type of contract you have here at Shell Point when you came in, whether it's an A, a B, or a C, you've either prepaid or already taken care of your skilled nursing and assisted living, or you may still have the need to pay for that somehow should the time come, specifically with a B contract, and that's where long-term care insurance comes in. So it's good to know, again, to plan ahead and see what your coverage is going to take care of, and maybe if there's any other out-of-pocket expenses you might expect.
Okay. And how often should you review your long-term care policy?
Well, again, we see residents that oftentimes haven't reviewed the benefits in their plan for years. So I would suggest every couple of years to take out the policy or contact your company again if they don't send you a summary of benefits form, just so that you know what coverages you do have. One of the things, significant pieces of coverage that you may have is a home care benefit. And so that may pay while you're at home recuperating. Maybe you need a little extra help from home care or some help going to doctor's appointments or shopping and that sort of thing. So that's a really key benefit that many of the long-term care policies have and which residents should be aware of.
Oh, I've heard that many long-term care policies have been increasing their premiums substantially lately. Should that be a concern?
Yeah, I mean, long-term care insurance really has evolved over the last 25 years. It was a new product, and most of the insurance companies didn't actually have any experience with actuary tables. So a lot of those companies have gone out of business, and a lot of those companies are now increasing the premiums substantially. So you want to look at your long-term benefits, potential benefits, with an increase. We've seen some companies with a 20, 30, 40% increase in premiums. However, those benefits may be tremendous, so you still likely would want to pay the new premium even though it's gone up substantially from what you originally had purchased the policy at.
Well, that's a lot of good information, Jeff. I'm sure that our residents will be excited to hear that, and if they have any questions, they can always come in and see you.
Sure. So we love to have our residents come by. If you have a long-term care policy you haven't looked at in a while, please feel free to come by the Legacy office. Call us at 466-8484. We'd be happy to set up an appointment and see you then.